Alright, this is like my 10th take. And I sat for like 6 minutes. I sat since this started, so for like 6 minutes straight. Just talking to myself, trying to figure out how I should start the video. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's all you need to know for now. And then just add the pictures I sent to you in DMs. Yeah. Thank you for editing for basically free. Ladies and gentlemen, DIO Over Heaven is a very well-known... Fuck, I'm gonna shoot myself in the head. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is DIO Over Heaven, the rarest unit in Anime Adventures. If you've ever played the game, you've most likely heard about or seen a DIO Over Heaven. It is the rarest unit in the game by far. Its value is at 18,500. That is unmatched, and not a single unit gets even close, except for Gohan, which is a leaderboard 1 unit. Now, when I go into public servers, I usually get asked, "Oh, Sake, how did you get DIO Over Heaven?" And then I always tell them, "Oh, I traded for it." And just saying that makes it sound like low effort, but I actually started from really low value and I worked my way up. So that is what we're going to go through today with this video. We're going to go through the different types of trading, the important aspects when you trade someone, how to flip trades and what flipping trades mean, and what you want to trade for. Starting off, we're going with the types of trading. The first type of trading is upgrading. That is when you take a bunch of smaller units that have low value and you trade those units for one big unit. A big unit that has a lot of value, but around the same value as those smaller units combined. Now, when trading, there's a lot of things to think about, but you will get used to it quite fast. The other thing we have is downgrading. When you downgrade a trade, it's you having a high value unit and you trade it for multiple lower value units. Those trades are two very similar ones, but then there's also the fair trades, which is when you trade one unit of, like, let's say for example 70 value for another unit of 70 value. It's a fair trade, no one wins, no one loses, it's usually just because someone prefers the other cosmetic. Now, second thing we're going to talk about is important aspects. The first thing, the absolute most important thing when you are trading, is to go to the value list and look at demand. If a unit has low demand, for example Toby, he has demand 2, meaning not many people want him. You are not going to get good offers for Toby. Meanwhile, Android 21, as you can see, is very, very high, so you are going to get overpays for that unit. And overpays are quite self-explanatory. It's when someone gives an offer that has a value higher than the unit has. So for example, this trade right here. That's basically all you need to know about demand. So you always want to go high demand if you can. If you can get a high demand unit for a low demand unit, that is amazing. Always try to do that. The second most important aspect is value, and that you can find right here. Now value, that is basically what decides what tier the unit is in. And the unit tier list goes from S, so high S tier, to low C tier. And the highest unit in the game is Shiny DIO Over Heaven. And the lowest unit in the game is Carrot, Yoshina, and Mirko. Those units have a really big gap between them because they are the absolute highest and the absolute lowest. Value is what decides the general, value of the unit, but demand increases it or decreases it if it's bad by so much. That's why it's always important to look at demand. Now, the third thing about the aspects is the trend, as you can see right there. Now, the third thing we're going through here is trends. It's a very important aspect that you can see on the tier list, and it is this tab right here. And the different things then, the different keywords they have are stable, which means that the unit is not going to move, it's not going to increase in value, and it's not going to decrease in value. Then we have declining, which is when a unit it's going down right now. It's probably not going to go up anytime soon. Then we have rising, which is the opposite of declining. so the unit is going up in value and it's probably not going to go down any. Then we have hyped. Now, hyped usually only goes on units that are like recently tradable. So right now, for example, that would be Heathcliff. He is currently a hyped unit, I would say, meaning his value is higher now than it's going to be a bit later on. Meaning he will decline, he will lose value if you wait long enough. And then we have unstable. Now this is like hyped, except it can go both ways. So they're not quite sure where to put it on the value list, so they get the unstable keyword. So if you see an unstable unit, it's kind of risky to trade for it, but it usually still ends up in a W. Now, the last keyword we are going through is overpriced. The only unit that has this tag right now is Shiny DIO over Heaven, and that's because Shiny DIO over Heaven has the value of owner's choice, meaning that the owner of the Shiny DIO over Heaven is the one who decides the value. It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you think about it, that is very ridiculous. DIO over Heaven itself has 18,000 value. Shiny DIO over Heaven can probably go for around 100,000 value if you take into account that it's about 10x, except this is a low ball, so it's probably around 6x value from the regular one, but it is just insane. Now we're going to go to the next tab, which is flipping trades. Now, what do you do when you flip trades? Well, it's essentially trading low value units for higher, so you upgrade, and then that upgraded unit you downgrade to get higher value, low value units. Like this trade, for example. Now, what do you want to trade for? You want to trade for units? Do you want to trade for skins? Or what? What do I do? Good question. What most people usually do is to either trade for units or reroll tokens. Those are the two most common types of trades. Now, of course, the most common one is units. It's when you trade your units for someone else's units, and you can like downgrade or you can upgrade, stuff like that. And then the reroll tokens come in when you go to the value list and you look here. Now, you can very easily get overpaid in reroll tokens, so you can trade a unit that has the reroll token value 100, but as long as you just look around for a little, you can probably find someone who's willing to pay more than that. So for example, 140 reroll. You can also trade for stats. Stats are the thing in the bottom right corner of your screen right now. That is what decides the base damage, SPA, and range of your unit. So every unit has different stats, and they increase when you evolve said unit. It is always guaranteed to either increase or stay the same. Now, the stats that add value to trades are SSS stats, so triple S stats. They add around 300 value to a trade. And then, the thing about S and SS stats is that you can never really be sure if someone says something is SS, because it doesn't look different. So if someone's saying they have a unit with, let's say, SS damage, you always want to make sure to get their Discord or something like that and have them send you proof. Make them send proof that the unit is SS. And always try to look around, see if it's faked. If it's not, then I would say SS adds about 100 to 150 value, and just S adds between 50 and 100 value, depending on how big the trade is. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about trading. Using these methods, you can get a DIO over Heaven. You need to have patience when trading, however. It can take really long. It once took me over 2 weeks to go 3 times my value. It can take extremely long to trade, but it is always worth it in the end, as long as you are careful. Fuck, how do I end the video? Now, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you can leave a like or subscribe, that is greatly appreciated. It doesn't cost anything. It would help me out a lot. And yeah, that's it. See ya.